All right, buckle up. We got another lady figure with removable clothing. So this is Berylia Darkmoon from Lazy Monster as part of their Oaktown series. The only other figures I'm aware of in this line are some more elves, but they have a like more fair skin. So I think this might be using some of the same parts, but either way, looks very cool. I kind of regretted skipping those elves, so I'm glad to get this one. This appears to be a bit of a collaboration because I'm seeing some of their logos on here that I recognize. We got Kylab, who I know is great with cloth goods. I haven't gotten any of theirs myself, but I've seen them featured on 5K Toys, and people seem to speak highly of them. I don't know what Meow is, though. It's Meow. Anyway, yeah, this is a cool Dark Elf lady. Let's open this box. Is that an extra pair of boobs? It's a little hand tree. All right, here she is out of the box. Let's play with this toy. So let's check out the articulation and generally just how this figure feels to handle. So we got, I can't see through the soft goods, but we definitely got double jointed elbows. Always nice. Double jointed knees too. And this ball joint on the legs feeling a little loose. But yeah, we got some nice motion here. Very, very poseable. Look at that kick. Nice. Yeah, I can already tell this is going to be a good one. This is a little loose, though. Not loving that. But, oh, we do have a hinge in the neck. How much can we move that? Ooh, oh, there we go. Okay. It's pretty strong joint. Maybe a little stuck. So I'm not loving how loose this head is, but we do have really great range. Like, I love how much she can look up. That's awesome. This is a cool figure. Yeah, she definitely can, like, throw down if she needs to. This is, and, like, it's hard to describe, but sometimes you get a toy where, like, posing it and getting it into cool poses just feels effortless, and this definitely feels like one of those. There's a bit of looseness here and there, I'm noticing. I actually didn't show it, but when I pulled it out of the box, the shoulder joint was detached. That's probably because, I mean, maybe they were testing this part out before they packaged it. Maybe they didn't pop it in. You know, could have been just a mistake, quality control issue. Not a big deal. It popped right back in. And also, these joints here were super, super tight. So if you were to get one of these, just be careful when you're handling it right out of the box. Yeah, that feels really loose. I think I'm going to have to actually... Oh, there we go. That popped right back on. Okay. So yeah, out of the box, this handles great. Great articulation. Fun to mess around with. Let's try a few part swaps, and then we'll dig into everything that she came with. So let's see. I saw that there were some bare feet, so yep, okay. That came off really easily. How about these? Yep. No problem at all. You know, we might as well commit to it. We got to see how everything works with taking all the clothes off, I guess. Ooh, got a bit of some paint rub there. That's unfortunate. Wonder. You know, I think I saw something in the instructions about that. I'll see if I can clean that off later. But let's try to put these feet on. Yeah, it's a little tricky. Okay, so putting those feet on was a lot trickier than getting the boots off, but they do look nice, and they got toe articulation too, so you can get into a nice crouch with these. Oh, you know what? The boots did too, look at that. Yeah, so she has excellent range. We will do more part swaps and undressing, trying out the other torso, I guess, in the Kitbash section. And let's do a hand swap too. Little wrist joints. Oh, but that came right off. Nice. That was not hard at all. Oh, look at this fun pointing hand. Let's put that on. Hey! Yeah, that was super easy. So hand swaps are great. No problem at all there. She does have some weapons. Let's see how easy it is for her to hold those. Got a sword here. Let's see how easily this gets into her hand. Yep, no problem at all. Nice. Not sure how I feel about the sword itself, but like she absolutely, she has got some character. Look at this. She is ready to go, but she, you know, I didn't really like mean for it to look like this, but she needs some pants, right? Like I really wish I had just like, it's surprisingly hard to find just like a, you know, a brown pair of like medieval trousers for 1/12 scale figures. I wish I had just like a box of those because I could make so many more of my barbarians look cool. And yeah, she definitely, you know, it's probably fine. When I get the boots back on there, it won't look as silly. But right now, she just looks like she forgot to put pants on. Anyway, yeah, handling is great with this figure. Yeah, let's just plant your feet there. What are you pointing at? Here, there we go. Just get you in a cool pose. There we go. So yeah, as far as like articulation, doing part swaps, this is great so far. Thumbs up. All right, let's take a look at the quality of the figure itself, what it comes with, and decide if it was worth the price. Anyway, taking a closer look at the figure itself, this paintwork is awesome. I really like this color scheme. The eyes are, let's get, maybe, is that folk? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, the eyes look really nice. Like in general, just like the paintwork on the face looks really good. I like all the detailing in the hair. Even though it's green, there's like a nice, some nice like wash and dry brushing in there. These cloth goods are great. It definitely makes me want to pick up some Kai Lab cloth goods if I see something that looks cool. Their stuff goes up on 5K Toys, so I'm going to keep an eye out for that. We got some pouches here, which is cool. These have Velcro, so are they functional? Let's see. Kind of, yeah, you could put something in there. I'm really hoping to get some of those new Savage Crucible figures that come with like the gold coins and stuff. You could totally put some of those in here. Let's see, how about this one? Yep, that's Velcro too. Yeah, you could put a little itty bitty thing in there. Oh, well, okay. Oh, this is a sheath. This is not a pouch. That's cool. Okay. So this should actually be over her shoulder. And then take the sword here and put it in. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm not sure if that really works, but I've got some ideas for different weapons for her. Still, let's take a look at those. Figure definitely looks great. Oop, wardrobe malfunction there. There we go. Let's plant those tiny feet. I should have saved that because the boots, she definitely stands better when she's got the boots on. Let's take a look at those really quick. I guess you could count these as accessories because they're removable, but they're really nice. Pretty much a solid color, but there's a good wash on there to bring out the details. Same with these boots. Looking good. We have this alternate torso, which, yeah, I think this is if, if you want her to be more endowed in this area, you can do that. We'll try that out later. Don't worry. Oh, this is like the Gold Hilder video again. Anyway, we got a bunch of hands. I love this little hand tree. Like this is like, I love that you could display it on the shelf with all the alternate hands. Like if you wanted to kind of display the figure, like the figure's loadout in a cool way. And this is fun. I wish more companies did this. And we got a great set of hands here. So we got some fun, like a peace sign and pointing to add some character. There's gripping and fists. I've got one of each on her. So here are the opposites. And then we got some relaxed hands and then some kind of nice like combat gesturing hands. We've also got this great alternate head sculpt with the glowing white eyes. Very cool. I think this might have been a pre-order bonus. And we got that sword. This is pretty cool. This feels like almost like too ornate for a character like this. You know, like, this is their character. This is what they decided, so that's fine. But personally for me, I think I'm going to give her something else. But this is cool, and I will definitely use this for another figure. And we've also got a very cool set of daggers here. I love that they are different. That adds some character, like maybe she's obtained both of these from different places. Maybe she's got names for them. I like it. These are cool. So between like the overall quality itself, how much stuff she comes with, the value of this figure is a definite thumbs up. By the way, I'm so glad that like people are happy to have the thumbs up orc back. I gotta say, I don't know how often I'm gonna end up doing a thumbs down. Oh, I forgot to snap. All right, now let's see how she scales with a bunch of other figures that I think she looks good with. All right, here's round one of some great fantasy figures for her to go with. We have the Figma Tears of the Kingdom Link, the V-Toys Hunter of Dragonfire that I heavily modified. Please check out that video. Tonya Tigress from Lado Toys. We have Captain Ash from Plunderlings. My custom Dovahkiin on a Savage Crucible body. And Algar from Roman Key. Here she is with some Mythic Legions. We got a Dwarf. We got Thrace and an Elf on 2.0 bodies. And we got a Wizard over here on a 1.0 body. And they are hanging out with my Crimson Desert pets that I made. Like this little cat. And this wolf, and this doggo. Next we have a McFarlane Barbarian Batman. We got some Zezre Studios with Madokus and Gold Hilder. And my custom Barbarian made on a Nota homebody. And finally we have the Frazetta Girls Conan, Animal Warriors of the Kingdom Pale, Sigma Studios Kratos, Bro Toys Kratos, and Boss Fight Studios Red Sonja. So yeah, she scales fantastically with other fantasy lines in the closer to like the 7-inch scale. I like that she's a bit taller. I think that's really cool. So yeah, she will add some great body diversity to your fantasy displays. She is an excellent scale, so she gets a thumbs up. Now that was quite a few figures, but if there is a figure that you wish I had compared her to, let me know in the comments. If I have it or something close to it, I will do a post on YouTube showcasing her with that figure. So let me know. All right, I'm very excited to say that it is kitbashing time because we haven't done this with a review figure in a while. And I've got some really good ideas, I think. So first thing we gotta do is get this figure naked. And oh, I just noticed something. There are little sheaths for the daggers right here. That's cool. Look at that. Kind of a weird spot, honestly. Like, you know, I guess you reach for one and you reach for the other and maybe you do like reverse grip. Yeah, it's not bad. I'm not sure how I feel about that, but it is cool that it's there. So that means you could put all of this figure's weapons away if you want to keep it the way it is out of the box. But we're not doing that. So to evaluate this part, we are going to have to take these clothes off. Here we go. Whew, that's a little scary. Oh, there we go. Okay, is this 2 pieces? I'm not sure. Let's see. Actually, we'll take the hands off too, because those come off super easy. All right, what are we working with here? Is this attached? Oh, we got some Velcro back here. So that takes this off really easily. All right. Okay, so this is one piece. And oh, this is Velcro too. Look at that. Okay. So now we got our shirt. So presumably, so I was wrong. It's not 2 different sizes. It is covered and uncovered. So the torso that was on the figure is very much anatomically correct. So we will not be showing that. Instead, we will see how easy it is to attach the arms to the other torso. That is a little tricky because we got this like a kind of filler piece in here. Kind of gets in the way. Let's pop that. Here we go. I get it. Feels like I got it. Okay. Let's do the other one. Maybe it's better to push this in. It's a little hard to tell exactly what the positioning is for these little pieces so that they don't get in the way. This is a much nicer shoulder joint than the Gold Hilder though. Like that totally broke. And I don't feel like this is gonna break, which means I don't feel bad putting force on this to get it in there. There we go. And, oh, Had to pop this dumbbell joint out of the other torso, so it does not have two of them. So let's get that in there. Oh man, that is annoying. Yeah, because you got this this ball shape pushing into your thumb. This is very tricky because the joint in here is quite soft. So getting the dumbbell joint into here is probably going to require some heat. Now it's interesting because it seems like this was designed to pop out super easily. That's why it's such a soft joint. So I think it actually would have been really nice if they had just given us two of these, one in each torso, so that you could more easily just pop between them. That would have been nice. All right, time to blow dry some boobs. So yeah, this is your base body, and it is cool that even though this figure came with very nice cloth goods, if you want her to be dressed totally differently, or, you know, if you just want her to be naked, yeah, another blue lady for your manly barbarian or something, I don't know. Yeah, you know, do what you want with your figures. You like sexy women, that's fine. You know, this has actually got me thinking, I have an idea. This is a second gold Hilder that I managed to grab from my local collectibles store, and I'm very excited to customize it to give it a totally different look than the other one. And I'm actually wondering if maybe this figure can borrow some of these pieces to make her look a little bit more, you know, like make the undergarments. Yeah, maybe we can make the these undergarments look more fantasy. Let's try. Had a little bit of a flashback pulling this off because I broke the other one when I was doing that. Anyway, that is off. This is what you come for, right? Bra swaps. But yeah, I think that's definitely, that looks better than this, right? I mean, the brown even looks nice with the green hair and everything. Fair warning if you decide to do this, it does kind of push the black under bit up over the joint a little bit, but I think it'll be okay if I pop the leg on. Yeah, seems all right. So yeah, the gold Hilder underwear on her actually looks much better, I think. Like the browns definitely match the blue and the green really nicely. So yeah, if this is a aesthetic or look you're going for, I might recommend doing this. For me though, I actually really want to get her clothes back on because I want to turn this character into an archer. All right, so here's my first attempt at kind of kitting her out with a bow, and it's working out okay. It's a little floppy though, so I think I'm gonna try and give her some like Mythic Legions belts to kind of make this all feel a little less flimsy. I also scooted the daggers over a bit because it felt weird having them like if you kind of line this up exactly the way it's supposed to be, they're really far in front, and that just feels weird. So yeah, I don't know. So I'm gonna try see what I can do with my own stuff to kind of clean up this loadout a little bit. Before I keep going, I just wanted to show something cool. What I actually ended up doing when I put the tunic back on is I actually did not put these filler pieces in to the shoulder joints. And what that did was it gave the shoulders a lot more range. It's kind of hard to show, but you can definitely feel it when you're actually handling the figure. Like, you know, it's all covered up anyway, so, you know, there's no problem with the gap. You can just make her shoulders move around a lot more now. I also tried to kind of pull the tunic down a little bit because it was getting all bunched up here, and it looks a bit nicer now. So yeah, I think like I really do like this look, so I don't want to like, I'm just not as big a fan of these pieces. Like, you know, it's nice that they're here, but they're just so flimsy that they don't really stay where you want them to. So we're gonna upgrade her with some of these. I also tried putting this on her back, and I thought it looked okay, but I don't know, when you actually get them on there, I feel like she's gonna like poke herself in the butt if she stretches. But she can reach back there and grab them, which is pretty cool. So I'm going to keep messing around with stuff, but just in case I don't do this, I just wanted to show it in case you decide to do it with this figure. You can even like, if you arrange them right, you can kind of crisscross them, which is pretty cool. I also tried this, but I'm not loving it. This is like a standard Mythic Legions belt with the two loops hanging down, and you know, it's cool, but they're just flopping around in there. It doesn't quite work. This is pretty cool. So I kind of rotated this belt to make it more of like more going off the hip, and you know, this looks pretty good too, but like I think what's really bugging me is like the way these little slits are arranged, no matter how you put the daggers in there, they're always kind of bumping into each other, and then that causes them to kind of push themselves into weird angles, and it just doesn't look very good. So I may just not use those, unless I can find a better way for her to put them away. Oh, actually, you know what? I think we found our chosen one for this sword. So you may have seen in my other videos, I've been struggling to find a character to actually wield this because it's just so long, but I don't know. That's pretty awesome. I have this, and let's grab the scabbard. I'm sure that will slide into these belt loops okay. Okay, that's pretty cool. The colors don't match up perfectly, but I don't know, man. There's something there. And like this is... trying to put this away must be impossible. But you know, it's like a samurai type situation. You gotta readjust the scabbard and get it in there. I'm sure you could finagle it. Or you just don't think about it too hard. Never mind. I like this sword better for her. The colors match up, and it's definitely a much better size. So this is the sword that came with Gold Hilder. And it just happens to slide really nicely through these the loops on this Mythic Legion's belt. And I like the way it kind of hangs a little bit down to the side there, and she can absolutely, you know, reach down, pull that out, no problem. And the handle is small enough too where it's not going to like completely ruin the, it's not going to completely like stretch out the hand. Yeah, this is a good size sword for her. I think I am going to definitely pivot back to her being an archer though. This is a very good like backup weapon, but I would really love to have another archer in my collection because I only have one right now. All right, I've been fiddling with this figure for too long, so here is where we're at. So we have the sword on the side there. I think that looks pretty good. And I gave her a nice big long bow. I had an extra Gold Hilder gauntlet, so I put that on here just to give her a little asymmetry. I like that a lot. I'm going to see if I can find something else for this arm, because honestly, these soft goods, they look nice, but when you're actually playing with the figure, what ends up happening is like these sleeves are just a little too long, so they love to go over the hand a lot. And it tends to get kind of like bunched up in this area and just not look great all the time. Like when you can really get it positioned the way it's supposed to, it does look nice, but as soon as you start moving the figure around, it gets messed up again. So maybe someday I'd like to change out those soft goods, but for now, I'm good with this. And we also got the quiver on her back. And this older Mythic Legion's belt, I honestly am not sure which figure it came from, but it fit perfectly. It's a little bit smaller than the newer ones, so it kind of fit this area nicely. And I put just the tiniest little bit of double stick tape on the belt so that it stays on her shoulder. So even when I'm fiddling around with the figure, it doesn't move around too much. Here we are. We've got ourselves a really cool little elf archer adventurer character. I like her a lot. So final thoughts, I think this is a very cool figure, especially if you like customizing. It's a great base body if you've got your own idea for a character you want to make. And honestly, out of the box, it's cool. I mean, I personally wasn't a huge fan of the weapons that it came with, but to each their own. I actually do have some ideas for the sword for another figure that I have coming in the future. But yeah, I think that this figure is absolutely worth picking up if you can find it and you want a little bit more body type variety and just kind of variety in general with your fantasy displays. There are not a lot of great female elf options out there, especially if you want to get them naked, I guess. So with that, let's get her into the case. Okay, so I was going to put her in this display here because this is kind of my like adventurer party for 7-inch fantasy figures, but it's pretty full in there. So we are going to move over here for now. And she's going to hang out with this little mishmash group. I'm definitely going to be doing some rearranging soon because I really want to have like several nicely curated adventurer parties, but this looks pretty good. These guys are all a little bit smaller, so she's kind of tall, but you know what? She could be a tall elf. So for now, this looks pretty good. That's it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.